If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour.
We stand for Queen,
country, and video games. BRB UK.
Worse teeth,
better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy, ladies and gents, and welcome to episode 243 of BRB UK. It's a podcast, we're in your ears and we're very comfy. I am Dan, I am your host, and I am joined, as always, by Timothy Hibbs.
This deal is getting worse all the time, Dan. 2 for
Why is this deal
3
getting
is
worse?
not as good a special offer as we had 2 weeks ago. Did I kill the show again?
Yes.
It's probably a bit too early in the show to kill things, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless the three things that thank you for the sad bell. That's Coleman in the background. I never knew you could ring one of those service bells in a morose fashion. That's your special skill. Congratulations. Do it again, Coleman.
Shame.
Right, okay. I want you. We're going to play a game, Coleman.
Hi.
Hi. You need to convey an emotion using nothing but that bell, and me and Tim need to know what it. Have to try and guess what it is.
Yes.
This sounds like a terrible idea that will only be painful on our listeners' ears.
Yes.
That's why I'm doing it.
Okay.
Ring on.
Confusion.
You really like buses.
Yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Thought so.
Excited. Well, that'd be more.
That is a very complicated
You're right,
emotion,
actually.
to be fair.
I
to
do.
convey with
Do
a
you know
bell.
what? Since they moved over to these newfangled buses, I miss a good quality ding on a bus bell. Ding. And remember the ones where you used to have the little, where you had to like slap the horse on the butt to make it slow down. Oh wait, no, I'm 107.
No, yeah, I was going to say no because I'm not 100 and something.
Yeah, exactly. So how you boys been anyway?
All good, generally speaking. Yeah.
Good. Coleman.
Yeah, I have also been a thing.
You've also been a thing. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done to remember breathing 20 times a minute.
Totally. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So you're still living the dream, I take it?
Living the dream.
Okay, so how have you been living the dream this week?
This week, I have been mostly editing podcasts.
This week, I have been...
The hot, sweaty sweatbox that is my West London flat.
Oh, nice. I like that. It's an excuse for me to go with my Brazilian accent again, mate. It's quite nice. It was a nice way for me to see Terra Masalata in it.
No, don't go down that path.
Anyway, so stuff has been going on in the news, which is why we have headlines, because they're the important bits of the news. And this first one has slightly confused me a little bit, because this is on the back of something that I thought was genuinely quite good.
Okay.
So, Squeenix.
We've heard of those.
Squeenixes, which is the sound you would get if you tried to wash a bald man's head, incidentally, which has some relevance to this particular story. Hitman.
Right.
Hitman, he's bald. He likes a clean, squeaky head. That's why Squeenix thought it was some brand synergy with the game, which is why they bought it. But now they've got bored of such squeaky-headed delights, and they've parted ways with IO Interactive, which I'm slightly bemused by, I'm not going to lie.
There's a lot of people that looked at this news and went, huh?
Yeah.
But, well, I guess that, and this is, slight guesswork and not really necessarily based on solid facts, but I guess that the box product didn't sell as well as they'd hoped. But if they were planning on that doing like gangbusters, then they were planning badly.
Yeah, because that was always going to be the case. It was going to be the majority of the people who got really invested in it were going to have bought it and are probably continuing to play it now. Yeah, I mean, I was never quite sure why they did a physical release, to be fair.
Because it's still worth doing so in this day and age. I think the problem that they had with doing the physical release at the end of the development cycle when they'd kind of released all the bits piecemeal is that there was no one that was excited and singing its praises as it got released, so it didn't get much attention, kind of thing.
Well, there was, but it just wasn't enough people doing it, I don't think. And because they took a game that was meant to be released in one single go and then split it up into episodes, and it's not like they did that was an intention. They did that 6 months before release. They cancelled all pre-orders and then went, okay, we're going to split this into episodes. And then when they did that, you got loads of people in the same kind of situation going, oh, I might pick it up. I might wait till it's all... I think I'll just wait for the box copy. It's going to be cheaper than picking up all the digital episodes. And then by waiting, that's gone off for ages. It's kind of caused... it didn't sell as well as they thought it would.
And I still think there's this kind of thing where, like, a brand new game is somehow... It's got, like, a sort of, not... Yeah, it's kind of got added value to it, almost, type of thing. Especially in our circles, where we're talking about, looking to talk about new experiences every week and stuff.
But I also think that, probably the way most people described it, certainly kind of in the outlets that I pay attention to, is, yeah, it's really good, you should get it. And then that was it, conversation over. It's kind of all the pomp and circumstance and all the fanfare for it kind of already happened.
Well, I think it would be easy for any of us, because of the kind of circles we move in Twitter and other sort of social media, etc., that kind of echo chamber of us hearing about this game lots and seemingly seeing lots of people on our feeds kind of playing it, that doesn't necessarily translate to the general public playing it lots, sort of thing. And it seemed to be that this was, well played and well thought about every time a new episode came out. But I think
perhaps the general public just have an irrational hatred of Right Said Fred tribute acts and just thought this was one of those.
Possible.
I mean, was Hitman... I mean, Hitman's been popular, but was it that popular on a public level before this game?
Yeah.
Are you asking, was Hitman too sexy for a show?
No, I'm not, and you're trying to
I'm not
do
sure.
silliness.
Well, I think the last one sold reasonably well, Absolution, wasn't it? But then previously, like, it had been around for enough that people, like, it was a recognised name and drew attention through that alone, I think. So.
Okay. I mean, I only ask because I remember a lot of my friends especially playing Hitman 2. And not really hearing, like, all Hitman games kind of blurred into one for me. And then I didn't actually start playing them until this game came out because of the episode model, and they went, okay, here's your first episode, and it's just over £10. But, well, yeah, all right, I'll dip my toes in for that. And I really enjoyed it, and they supported these things. They added in new sections and these special contracts and stuff.
Well, what I think really, really worked is that one of the joys of Hitman is that there are so many different ways to accomplish essentially the same task. And the episodic rollout of it actually enabled people to really play about with the mechanics of the game.
And replay that level.
Rather than just breeze through the game, just going like the critical path of getting it done. It was like all the combinations of, well, what if I kind of actually hide here? Or what if I knock this person out, pretend to be them? And
if you remember in a, hashtag Tim was right moment again, like I did say at the time that I thought that would lend itself well to this game and that would work quite well. And most people were seemingly thinking the exact opposite, and it seemed to do okay, at least on those episodic releases. That's why I'm kind of basing this loose theory on the fact that I think they were disappointed with the physical retail at the end of it and the results that got. But as we said, I don't think that was ever going to sell massive amounts, basically.
I think it's because at the end of the year, the Game of the Year type awards, when all those things started coming out and they go, Square Enix, we've got a bunch of Game of the Year nomination. We've won a bunch of awards. Go, excellent. I knew that people would love Final Fantasy 15. It's Hitman. And they're gone, kill them.
Oh.
How dare you overshadow?
Or, who knows? There's very little in the way of details here, and this is all, of course, pure conjecture.
Well, no. It's conjecture as to whether they were disappointed. It's not conjecture as to whether they're parting ways with IO Interactive, but they're not.
No, that's not. Yeah, of course, because that's it's conjecture. The reasons why.
That's fine. But they're not getting rid of it. Well, they are getting rid of it, but they're not just closing it down as some like other people have done recently with studios. They are looking for a buyer and are looking to sell it on, basically. So it's not necessarily the end of Hitman, it's just the end of Hitman being published by Square Enix. Unless they don't find a buyer, obviously.
So Square Enix has had the license since 2009 when they bought Eidos and they ended up picking up IO. And then I think in 2013 was when IO basically got rid of that. They just cancelled all their games they were working on other than Hitman,
right?
And got rid of about half of their staff as well. So it's not been looking good for them for a while. So it'd be nice to see if someone does pick up Hitman, because it was, in terms of critical success and excitement and stuff and floating around online, it was huge in that way. I don't know how it did in sales wise.
I don't think it did terribly. I mean, I don't think it, necessarily set the charts alight, but, it wasn't a disaster.
But it seemed to pick up a bit more following from people playing it on Twitch and stuff as well, people streaming it in general. And that seemed to attract what you thought was a sizable audience to it. But as I said, I can only theorise that they were reasonably happy but not completely satisfied with the digital sales, but were expecting more from the physical sales that didn't come, basically.
I think I know why the physical sales didn't work.
Why?
Because the game was packaged inside a big bald man's head, and the only barcode was on the back of his head, and he had to blip that at Sainsbury's, and they didn't like doing that, so it didn't sell very well.
You talk about Sainsbury's a lot on this show.
Yeah, you do like the Sainsbury's.
Well, there's no Sainsbury's near me anymore.
Yeah. Other supermarkets
I haven't got a Sainsbury's
available.
I've got a Tesco Metro, and it's like they built a shop out of sadness. It's not a nice Tesco Metro. It's not good.
Anyway, to end, there was 3 seasons that were originally planned for this version of Hitman, so hopefully they can find another publisher and carry on.
And they've been quite vocal about, their intent to, do further seasons, which is kind of what confuses me even a little more about this, or whether or not it came to contract renegotiations and they just failed to reach an agreement on that, and the only way was to part ways. Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't, so I'm going to stop talking about it. But talking of things I don't actually know the full story about, it'd be good to talk about anyway. Hey, well, them's the breaks. Mass Effect.
I have heard of this game.
This is a series you may have heard of. Mass Effect Andromeda developer BioWare Montreal has apparently put the series on hiatus,
according to a report from Kotaku.
Now, so Montreal's been kind of downgraded to a support studio, which is rather ironic, bearing in mind that seems who they seem to, the kind of companies they seem to rely on to get Mass Effect Andromeda out the door, but there we go.
But it was weird, because I thought they'd scaled it up from a kind of support studio in the first place anyway. This isn't the primary BioWare site type thing. This is in Edmonton. So.
No, this is, their BioWare's secondary site, Montreal.
Yes.
But maybe even tertiary site if you take it after BioWare Austin.
Oh yeah, I guess
as
so.
Well. Kind of thing. I mean,
there's also BioWare Bob. He's quite popular. BioWare Jack. He's the man. He is.
But the interesting thing was, so earlier, I think it was last week, in fact, that EA had actually they've been taking all their other studios and basically pouring everything into Star Wars Battlefront 2. So it was assumed that the same was of BioWare Montreal, but apparently no, that's a support studio now. So they'll be working on updates and things for multiplayer for Mass Effect Andromeda, but not really much else.
Well, I mean, because there's one of the things that's increasingly become like the norm in game development is outsourcing of chunks of the game to far-flung studios, and whether or not, because I know a lot of Andromeda got outsourced, particularly the facial animation department.
Yeah, they should have outsourced that to someone a bit better.
Yeah, well, that didn't work out so well, so I don't know whether or not this is just a concerted effort to kind of reduce BioWare's reliance on kind of external studios for getting the odds and sods done, and whether or not this just makes the whole quality control and quality assurance side of things easier for them.
Well, no, it's from the sounds of it, they're downsizing the number of people in BioWare Montreal as well. So that's a bad sign that they're not particularly happy with the output of that studio in time. I mean, look, this could be like something that they were planning on doing post this anyway, but the fact that this comes with the news that Mass Effect is on a hiatus, it doesn't exactly, speak well for their opinion of the developer and going forward with that, basically.
Well, I don't think putting Mass Effect on a hiatus is necessarily a bad idea at this point in time.
Yeah, but see, I saw a lot of other people saying a similar thing that I was thinking, which is Andromeda may have had its problems, but a sequel to this game could have been fantastic. In the same way that the original Mass Effect had its problems, and Mass Effect 2 is one of my favourite games of all time. I'm a little disappointed that they won't get to iterate on what they did there and then, bring out another game in a couple of years, because who knows when we'll see Mass Effect back now, basically. Not good.
Well, we shall see, but I'd much rather wait and have a really good knock it out the park Mass Effect game that they've planned for and had the ability to execute properly on. I'd much rather see that than them try and cash in. Which, I'm not sure how well they'll be able to cash in on Andromeda's success, because frankly it wasn't as successful as it really should have been.
But they also had the best part of 5 years to work on Andromeda. So, is a hiatus going to be good for the series? I don't necessarily know that it is, basically.
What's your alternative, Tim? Is it to chain them to their desks, making space things until they fall over and can't remember their own names anymore?
Well, basically...
Well, yes.
Yes. But at the moment, it seems like they I don't think they've necessarily spoken about what they're working on at the moment, but it's kind of heavily thought that they're presumably working on another Dragon Age at the moment, and then they've got this other unannounced IP that's new that they're working on that they haven't announced yet. And it'll be interesting to see what that is, and it'll be interesting to see which parts of BioWare are actually working on the new one, and which ones are working on Dragon Age, and which ones just seem to be twiddling their thumbs at the moment.
At least we managed to get the sentence, their unannounced new game that they haven't announced yet. Thank you, Tim.
I was
Podcasting gold
pick me up
once
on
again.
That sooner, but hey.
No, I was just waiting for the right moment. But like in the same way that the sun always rises in the east, sets in the west, and the Pope sits in the woods, Assassin's Creed has leaked again.
Potentially.
Assassin's Creed Empire, apparently, is what it's called.
Yeah.
And in the time-honoured fashion of, I believe, Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Syndicate, news of it has been released by Blurry Cam at Kotaku.com or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the last 4-5 games have all been leaked before coming out.
Yeah.
Are we all saying leaked in little inverted commas, though? Yeah. Because I don't believe the leaks anymore. I'm afraid. No.
The theory was, because all the major, the leaks that usually come out are about a week before the game gets announced, and they're always by Kotaku. So the popular online theory has been that Ubisoft leak with quotation marks to Kotaku so they can get the buzz going, and then everyone will tune in for their big announcement. But this wasn't Kotaku. This was Reddit. Okay,
but this is a solid. Almost same different. It's a solid tactic. It takes very little investment of time, effort, or money, and you get people reporting on the rumor and going, and people are more likely to jump on it. It's more likely to be a kind of a viral thing that kind of spreads out because people are like, we shouldn't know this yet, and.
In other news, Jeremy Corbyn has been announced as a new lead for media relations at Assassin's Creed Empire.
But also, it has the added effect of when that news gets confirmed, everyone jumps on and wants to report the confirmation as well, because it's confirming the rumour that they were talking about before, and it's like, hey, look at me. Not only was I right about the rumour, but here's the confirmation of me being right about the rumour, and look how good I am, type thing. And it's just, it's an easy way of doing things, and that's why I think this keeps on happening, and it's why I think it's quite deliberate now that they've noticed it's an easy route to take.
But chaps, that's not the coolest news about this whole thing. Do you know what is?
What is?
Go on then.
You get to assassinate crocodiles.
I'm not sure that's an assassination.
More hunting.
Apart from that, it says assassinate the crocodile in the top left corner, which sounds to me like, and this is just a theory, that you've got to assassinate a crocodile.
Fair enough.
Do you see where I'm going with that?
I still have issue with the word assassinate. Kill, yeah, kill. Fine.
So this is the rumoured Egyptian one, right? This is the one we got a screenshot of 3 years ago, and it was rumoured it was Prince of Persia. And then last year it was rumoured that 2 years ago, the screenshot wasn't Prince of Persia, it was Assassin's Creed. And then we got more details on that last year, and then that's led up to this screenshot.
Well, if indeed it is based in Egypt, and it looks like it's going further back in time rather than approaching the current day, which seemed to be the trend of the last Assassin's Creed arc, it's going to be pyramids, Illuminati, crazy shit going back and forth, almost certainly. But I think it's a really, really cool era to base an Assassin's Creed game in, because it's kind of got those overtones of, kind of how closely linked society is with religion at that particular time, how different views were kind of led to people being cast out, all of these things. And I think it could be quite good. But also boats as well. You're on a boat.
Pyramids to climb
in
and
this
everything.
picture, you're on a boat. I like boats.
Does that actually say assassinate the crocodile? That doesn't say.
Yes, it does say assassinate the crocodile.
I'll zoom in on that. Oh God, it does as well. Yeah.
But
see,
yeah, I mean, do you think the Egyptian setting makes sense with the word empire? Does that seem like
yes, because
Egyptian empire?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, but well, I don't know about you. There are various empires throughout history. That the Egyptian empire isn't one that screams out to me when I think of the word empire, no? I don't know.
Well, ancient Egypt, kind of, you could argue that kind of even before Roman times was kind of the crucible and the birthplace of modern society, so it probably is quite important.
I'm not saying it's an unimportant thing, it's just not something I necessarily link to the word empire automatically.
Thank you. Yep.
But yeah, I think we're all reasonably excited for the Egyptian setting, though. No, like it seems like a good one generally.
Yeah, I've been catching up with Unity and Syndicate over the last couple of months because those were two games that I paid money for and didn't finish.
Yeah.
So.
I still didn't finish Syndicate, but
yeah,
I heard some talk about that, and minor spoilers for anyone that hasn't finished. But from what I heard, it sounded like most of the modern day characters that we'd come accustomed to in previous games are all kind of killed off by now. Like Desmond and all his mates no longer around. So I guess
Desmond's not been around for a while.
Well, I know Desmond.
Desmond's been killed to death.
Desmond's been off for a while, but I think all
3.
the other people that were surrounding him are non-existent as well now. No, I don't know.
Not Danny Wallace. Not
Well,
Danny Wallace.
even Danny
Desmond
Wallace.
works in a barber shop in East London.
Oh God!
But I guess that just that point alone kind of makes. Before there was a definite reason why you had to continue going forward in time type thing, and this kind of makes that not so important because you needed a story that existed in the modern era that was also continuing to go forward, and you couldn't then have a thing that jumped around as much, I guess. But
yeah, you could, because all you're doing is looking for these kind of pieces of Eden, which was secreted by the alien peoples millions of years ago on Earth.
No, but they didn't. No, I think hadn't so far all the games been like sort of in date order, basically.
Yes, but I think that's coincidence rather than
okay.
Well, I don't know, because I always assumed it was just gonna keep going forward because I wanted that World War II Assassin's Creed, but that's never gonna happen by the looks of it. But I always wanted the World War II Assassin's Creed set in London. I got the London one. I didn't really get the World War II.
I thought. Didn't you see?
It had bits of World War II in it, though, didn't it?
In Unity,
yeah, it did. It had like these kind of weird time fracture things.
Yeah, I didn't like those. But yeah.
So you didn't like.
Well, it's a good job you didn't have a whole game of it then, Coleman, isn't it?
Make your mind up, Coleman.
No, I mean, just the sort of jump. I mean, it kind of worked in Unity better than it did in Syndicate, but Unity was horribly broken when it came out, so no one knows that.
But anyway, so we shall see. Doubtless there'll be a little teaser bit of something at E3, but probably no more than that. And I reckon we're probably looking at spring-summer 2019 for this.
For Assassin's Creed?
I reckon.
For Assassin's Creed? No, it's going to be this year, mate.
They only announced they took a year off.
Yeah,
I
they
reckon it'll
didn't
be
take
this year.
a year and a half off. They said they're taking a year off.
I should dig my ensuite time with this.
He's got on sweet time.
You want your Assassin's Creed sequel? I will surrender it to you.
Hey! You say that was a cheesy joke.
Oh, fromage! Cul-de-sac.
I kind of really want you to combine the Yoda with a French accent, Cole. Go on.
Pamplemousse.
There we go. Fantastic. Anyway, what are we going to do? We're going to have some updates today, Tom. Update me on the updates.
Would you like some Nintendo updates?
I would like to, but also, can I just say what the actual flipping heck?
What?
Why weren't you able to do this? Update away, but I just want to preface this with, wait, what?
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay, so Nintendo has now added the option to store credit, debit card information on the Switch eShop.
Nintendo, can I just have a moment?
Nintendo launching features that should have been at launch.
Well done,
Since
Nintendo.
launch.
You are the best at the internet.
So this it's been requested for quite some time since the console actually launched, and it's been missing for a while. Now it's available. They did an update to the back end of the eShop. They did it overnight, so no one really noticed. There was no
Stealthy.
installing updates or anything that they noticed. It just happened. There's also a feature for parents to add an extra layer of security, and if you store your card, then you can add password protections.
That's a good
So
plan.
you need a pass key for every time someone makes a transaction, which I think they do on all the other Nintendo consoles that allow you to store your credit information anyway.
They also do it on your card. It's called the card verification.
There
number
is
on
that
the
as
back.
well, yes. But this has been requested for quite some time. This was in the at some point Nintendo went, right, what do we need to stick in the Switch before launch? Can't do that, right, what's the most important thing? Right, we'll do all those, and then we'll
HD Rumble is what it was.
HD Rumble, yes. Selling
That was
feature.
the most important thing.
Speaking of security for parents as well, by the way, in another hashtag, Tim was right. We had a big
Why
argument.
is this a thing?
I don't know.
Why are you giving yourself a
it came
hashtag?
over
Tim
for
really
anything.
wants to
Anyway.
give himself a hashtag.
Why does he want to give himself a hashtag? You're having a midlife crisis, Tim.
It was more a kind. I kind of started it as a parody from
no.
Kind of Funny, but anyway, right. Don't worry about it.
I'm down with the kids.
Down with the kids. But yeah, no. Wait. We had a big argument a while back about the whole Apple allowing kids to make in-app purchases and all that type of stuff.
You say
And-
a while back, you mean...
Are we about to get on this?
ago?
Are we about to get on this whole nonsense about parental controls are the responsibility of the parents to set up?
But as I said, if they did not regulate themselves, Apple would be forced to do something about it, and that's happened. They've been fined a massive amount and told to repay a load of money back to the people that had complained, basically. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah, I don't want to go back to that because that was when I was guesting on the show and I got complaints
Did you?
for the things that I said.
What did you say? Were you agreeing with me? Is that what got you in trouble?
I think it started with me agreeing with you and then I went on my own tangent.
Oh
and then,
dear, you don't want to do that, mate.
Parents got angry at me. So let's move on.
Yes, let's.
Also, this week, Nintendo has confirmed that they're releasing separate docks for their Switch console in European territories.
I think that's dreadful segregation behaviour in the already limited port space we have in the south of England.
Not those sort of docks. Also not Doc Martens.
So it's releasing on the 23rd of June. The docks package includes an AC adapter and a HDMI cable.
And hopefully the dock as well.
The dock as well, yes. No word on price as of yet.
I reckon they'll be £60.
I had to say, I saw well, look, it's good news for anyone that has a second TV and wants to make use of that or wants to use it in their home and office or anything like that. But I did see a very cool custom Super Famicom.
Super Famicom?
Super Famicom.
The Super Famicom.
Super Famicom. Well,
Hey,
it was the dock, but they'd
It's
also
the Super Famicom.
they'd also kind of they got us like a sticker set thing for the actual Switch itself and the Joy-Cons as well. And I have to say that looked really sweet. Like if Nintendo actually launch an official one that looks like that, I'll buy it day one, I think, basically. But
Well, I mean, it's a complete no-brainer that it's certainly by Christmas we're going to see all kinds of limited runs of Joy-Cons that, are going to be a collectible. That is going to be a thing, almost certainly. But the thing that actually talking about docks is the real hotness, though, is because people are so terrified about the whole
Scratchy.
scratching the screen nonsense continuing. I don't know if reports of that settled down or people have just given up complaining about it or what.
I haven't seen many people continue to complain about it, so I think it was a fairly isolated thing, basically.
But because all that the dock really contains, the business bit of the dock is like a circuit board the size of a post-it note or something that's in there, and people have been putting that into 3D printed cases to make it a portable dock. Because there's some actual circuitry in there that actually talks to the switch and the USB-C port, and it isn't. You can't just put a USB-C to HDMI adapter in the bottom. It's got a handshake and authenticate properly.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But essentially making it so that you just need to plug it in the bottom rather than drop your switch in the top of a dock for people who are on the move.
You like things that just plug in the bottom, yeah?
I love it, mate. Love it. I like to be hilt deep whenever I have a cable that can do that.
Wow. All right, moving on.
Moving swiftly on.
What's the truth?
Elder Scrolls Online PC players who have purchased the digital upgrade version of the upcoming Morrowind expansion, they'll be eligible to start playing on the 22nd of May.
It's Tomorrowwind, literally.
Yes. Okay.
Try the veal. I'm here a week.
Yes, anyway, you can get early access if you buy the PC players only, though. As part of a large-scale tech test, Bethesda is keeping Quake Champions live from the 12th to the 21st of May. It's a notable departure from the closed beta, as anyone can get a code, and the game won't just be available during the weekends.
Well, I'm going to get on that like an extremely hungry person who likes donuts on a big mound of donuts.
I got sent a code for the alpha and beta, I think, and then I sent it to Kev because I couldn't make it work.
Yeah, sure.
I thought he'd get more enjoyment out of it because he seemed quite excited by Quake Champions.
I haven't seen him play it, though.
No, I'm assuming he hasn't actually played it. I've given him a couple of betas in the past that he's not played, so. But I wasn't going to play it in fairness either, so that's fair.
It's probably worth checking out, that, I reckon.
Not on my PC. So yes, as we alluded to a couple of weeks back, Platinum Games have indeed confirmed that their 2010 Xbox 360 title Vanquish is heading to PC. That's going to Steam on the 25th of May, and will receive the same treatment as Bayonetta did, so it'll have 4K resolutions, include extensive graphics options, and fully support keyboard and mouse controls.
Now, I have a question here.
Yep.
Did they do anything other than just 4Kify it? So just turn up the dial on the engine to 11. Did they actually remaster or redo any of the 3D assets for the Bayonetta PC version, do you know? I'm not sure they did.
If they have, they didn't put it in the press release.
Because if it's just an up-resing, I do wonder... I mean, the thing is, it moves at about 1 million miles a second anyway, so you probably haven't got time to stop and look at the things going on around you, but... I could see how it might, because I was watching just random shout out and a free advert for Giant Bomb. I was watching one of their YouTube uploads where they were playing through Metal Gear Rising Revenge and and I can remember that being a game. I was like, wow, that looks really good, but actually it does look a bit dated these days. So I don't know whether or not they're going to need to give it a bit of extra spit and polish. But it's still a great game underneath all of that. So don't listen to me. I'm just a grumpy old
I don't want spit or polish on my games, but hey.
It's a digital game as well, so you just be gobbing on your PC.
Yeah, just spitting on my screen. It's no good.
Last update, Devolver Digital and Slowcap's upcoming real-time combat game Absolver is coming to PlayStation 4 and PC on the 29th of August. They also showed off a nice little trailer to go along with that news. I still don't understand this game.
No. It
seems to be open-world punch-a-thon.
Yes.
I guess.
But Devolver Digital, and we like Devolver Digital. I like
Everyone
Devolver
likes
Digital.
Devolver Digital. Yeah. You can't not like Devolver Digital. Like Devolver Digital and Curve Digital. What is it about the name Digital? You got to love them. They're very friendly people.
It's all the digitalness.
It's the digitalness.
Digital Monkey. He was great. Back in those ITV Digital Monkey, he was fantastic. Again, another good use of the word digital. Digital rectal examination. Exception to the rule.
I was going to add a couple of things to this update list as well, by the way, just quickly. I
like how you do it while we're recording.
Well, I know, but it's one that I only just remembered got announced but I'm trying to find official details of it, but I can't see it. But there was definitely confirmation that Marvel Heroes Omega will be coming out of beta very soon, basically. But oddly,
is it going to go back into alpha because it chopping needs it?
But it's but just on the PS4. Oddly, they're launching it first on the PS4 ahead of its Xbox One release for some reason. But
they're doing a character wipe. Fairly soon.
They're wiping all data, aren't they? Yeah.
They're wiping everything. It's like a fresh start for everybody.
Okay.
Which is usually kind of a prelude to this kind of things. But it's still, don't know what you think, Con, but I still think it's got an awful lot of rough edges on it.
It has, but I don't care because I really like the game.
Fair enough.
I'm enjoying it. It's a good game to play with other people.
Yeah, I'm hoping to jump in when it comes out of the beta, basically.
Yes.
But they're still doing like early access if you buy the Foundation Pack or whatever it is that you can buy.
Founders Pack, yeah.
Or Founders Pack. But they said that's not coming out yet. But I thought that I already saw some Founders Packs on there. Are they not described as Founders Packs or?
Founder Packs came out the same day as the beta.
Right. Okay. But yeah. Also, just very quickly. Yeah, anyone that doesn't know as well, Go 8-Bit's coming back for another series as of next Monday the 15th.
Yeah, and that's on Dave.
Yeah, it's on Dave. It's on at 10 p.m, but they've also extended, they've also got a thing called Go 8-Bit DLC now, and that's just literally, it looks like it's going to be like more of a kind of review and discussion type show that's afterwards as well, basically.
I see what they've done there.
They've also got a house band as well. Do you know what they're called? Run DLC.
But yeah, as I said, I think that's really good news. The first series is really good. Anyone that didn't watch it should look out for it next Monday the 15th at 10 p.m.
I think you can probably watch it on catch up as well.
I think
the first season.
Yeah, that is also true.
Yarp.
That is also true.
Mm-hmm. Right. Should we talk about what we've been done playing?
Go on then.
Right. I'm not talking to you on a Mac anymore, Tim.
Oh my god, what?
I'm talking to you on a PC. A PC that I built.
What?
With my own fair hands. I'm not going to lie, there was swearing.
So hang on, you didn't pay a premium price just to have a little glowy Apple symbol on somewhere on your...
No, I paid a premium price to have a little glowy NVIDIA symbol actually this time around. So. It's an MSI symbol. Actually, it didn't. To get something half decent, you're looking at around $1,000 probably, and that's, I did build it myself, and it was I did do the usual thing where I started off all chipper going, gonna build me a PC. Half an hour later, like, whoever put these fan headers here, I want to hunt them down and kill them. True story. I did actually want to kill the person who decided that the best place to put the fan headers was under the heatsink, where the heatsink was going to go. I thought that was great. But probably because I was building on a ITX motherboard, so it's my own stupid fault. But anyway, I have been thinking about doing a gaming PC for quite some time, and I think it was seeing the 1000 series of graphics cards finally start being slightly less nosebleedingly expensive. I thought I would jump on in, and I'm very glad I did.
Hang on. How many, probably in seconds, how many seconds do we have before you become a complete PC snob and we can't really talk to you anymore?
No, it's not going to happen. Kev's already tried. Kev's already tried to do the secret handshake with me. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it. Not going to have it. No, I resist.
I give it no less than 3 weeks until you tell me I should be playing a game with a keyboard and mouse.
Oh, no,
less than 3 weeks.
I haven't done mouse look for about 15 years, and that actually makes my brain hurt. It really does. I don't know. Plug in my Xbox controller. I can't cope with this. But it's one of those things where... Because, I think all of us have got loads of stuff on Steam that we bought and never played and,
Yeah, I do as well. And I don't even have a decent PC.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually got to install a load of that stuff. And nestled amongst it, I also picked up from cdkeys.com, another free advert for you lucky scallywags, The Witcher 3 and Elder Scrolls Skyrim at a good price. And also a bit of Elite Dangerous. And dear goodness... dear God, I'm only playing at 1080p. Now I don't. There's no point getting the.
So that's where all of Kev's screenshots of Elite Dangerous have come. I didn't know whether you were playing this on PC or console. I kind of assumed
that is
console
me on a PC.
It was you. So there you
It
go.
was me on a PC. I have named my ship in Elite Dangerous the Terra Masolata.
Lovely.
And its ship tag is M01ZT. Just for you, Tim.
M01ZT. Okay.
Moist.
Yeah.
See, there we go. It's just a little treat for you. But I have been enjoying it quite a bit. I mean, there's still some things which I find a bit weird, that the fact you need to have about 4 million different clients installed to access all the games you want to. But hey, such is life. But since I last used a PC, which admittedly was around the year 2000, and that's where I kind of poo-pooed them, admittedly, things have got a great deal better. Stuff surprisingly just seemed to work, and, I'm very happy that I kind of decided to go for a 1070 in the end. I've actually sent Coleman a link of the build I ended up going for in the end, if anyone wants to have a little look.
I love this idea that it's been so long since you've been on a PC and you're like scoffing at it, like, oh, PC, I wouldn't go back to that with your Windows Millennium.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're into ME.
ME?
No, actually, no, that is a lie. The last time I gave it a PC was probably about 2003. So Windows UXP was a thing there. So yeah, but I mean, I must say, one of the things that I feel that Apple has been falling drastically behind in, I didn't just buy it for games, also bought it for work as well. That's what I'm going to tell the tax man. I bought it for work. And, just the fact of the matter is, I don't know what you feel about this, but I really feel like Apple are starting to go off the boil with, certainly, their mobile devices are great. I love their mobile devices.
But in terms of computers and desktop computers, anyone I know, and anyone that doesn't know, I kind of work in graphic-based industry and design and stuff. But everyone I know in that
Tim makes the tea there.
Is I own the company, but anyway, everyone that I know in and around that, and much more knowledgeable technical persons than me that generally give me advice on this thing, are all advising me to move away from Mac going forward, especially because they haven't even updated the range of Macs that they've got at the moment, basically, for an extended period of time. And it's, they would have expected them to have done that, and the fact that they're still not announcing them does seem to show that they're not focusing attention on them anymore. It's not worth it in light of how much money they earn through other avenues at the moment, basically.
Yeah. But I must say, there's something just that made me giggle like a little schoolboy running Borderlands to pre-sequel at ultra everything at 1080p at 240 frames a second. I was like, this is silly, but it's great. And yeah, I mean, I haven't really had much of a I've been the typical boy in a candy shop where I've just been flitting between things, but been sinking time into Elite Dangerous with Kev, which is great fun playing with buddies. A bit of Skyrim Special Edition, which is really, really well done. A little bit of The Witch 3, Forza Horizon 3 on PC, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that looks very shiny.
It is.
I heard that's much better now.
Yes, it runs absolutely gloriously. It's a beautiful looking game with everything turned up to silly.
Watch out for patches, though.
Yeah, the whole download the game again thing. And I was going to download Gears of War 4 because that is Play Anywhere until I realised the download for PC was 125 gig.
Whoa!
So I was like, nope, I haven't got time for that. But it's been good fun. Set myself up for a bit of PC gaming. And building a PC is actually quite a lot of fun to do. My advice is
talk slowly like Shatner.
Yes, talk slowly like Shatner. But also, 1, do a test build outside the box. 2, plug in everything else, as much stuff as you can before you put the damn heatsink on, because that'll piss you right off, like it did me, and you'll end up bleeding all over the place. Seriously, heatsinks are sharp.
Yeah,
I know.
I didn't realise that. They're really sharp. I actually had to clean blood off my cooler's fan because I bled all over it.
Yeah, man, just put it in the cooling system. It's fine.
All right, fine. Good.
Blood cooled. That exists out there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. But just take your time with it if you decide to build your own PC. And one of the real nice things is that you finally get a system that isn't pre-installed with a bunch of bloody bloatware, which is lovely. It's obviously
Tasty
not
bloatware.
necessarily for the yes, bloatware. It's not for the faint of heart, and there is always a very scary bit where it's you trying to lower a CPU in, knowing that if you mess this up, you could instantly cost yourself a couple of £100. But moments like that are thankfully few and far between, and it's actually nowhere near as complicated as you would think. So I thoroughly recommend doing it, and I'm looking forward to getting my head around some PC gaming.
Even if you had to bleed for it, eh?
I did. It made it all worthwhile.
Next, you'll be building your own consoles, eh?
No.
Tell me, Dan, do you bleed? You will.
So, I figured it's, bleeding on it's probably what John Romero would want me to do anyway, so...
Yeah, in his honour, yeah?
In his honour. There you go, John Romero. I've bled all over my computer. Can I play Doom on it now? Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
Good.
And actually, and no Destiny for like a week.
What?
I've noticed.
Whoa, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
No. You picked up a new platform and you didn't buy Destiny for it?
Because it's not
it doesn't exist on PC.
Yeah, oh, fine. Oh, phew. At least there's a rational reason why you didn't do that.
Did you not install the remote play onto your PC so you could play the PS4 onto the PC?
You're an idiot, Tim.
Play the Destiny on the PC. Damn.
Anyway.
It's a Destiny.
It's a thing. I've done the things. Now,
Good.
Tim, you've played something which I was really looking forward to buying off the PSN store until I found out after about an hour of clicking around wondering where the hell it was that you can only buy it physically. Tell me about it and hit me up with some Puyo Puyo Tetris.
I didn't realise that was a thing, that it was only physical. But, I played a physical copy, obviously, because that's how I got to play it. But, yeah, right.
I played it digitally.
This is a slightly odd one. We're going to have to get into this a little bit. It's definitely a good game. Let's put that out there straight away.
Right.
I think also, if you're a fan of puzzle games, it's not a bad deal. You're getting 2 good puzzle games for the price of one. Although, and I'll come back to this a little bit, but I do think it's quite a good fit for the Switch. And by the sounds of things, the Switch version is more expensive than the other versions, which
yes, because
I don't
reasons,
quite understand. Tim. It's a bit weird, but it is a good game. And it's not just that you get the 2 games as separately, Puyo Puyo and Tetris, which you can kind of play individually, but you also get various mashups of those games as well, basically. I could go through all the different modes. I won't quite. I'll save you the sort of problem with that. But basically, there is various different modes. There's a kind of swap mode where you literally, after a set period of time, you swap back and forth between one screen and the other of one Tetris and one Puyo Puyo, and if you lose on either screen, that's it, you've lost, basically. Kind of simple. There's some other modes. There's like a party mode where it gets a bit silly because it drops in loads of like special item type things, and some of them are like searchlights, which you can only, like, it swings light back and forth and you can only see the stacks of what you're building when the light's shining on it, which makes it a bit more difficult and stuff like that. And yeah, various different things like that. But then there's the kind of mode where they add both of these together called fusion mode, and you've got Puyos and Tetrominos falling into the same kind of, space, basically. And yeah, it's a bit weird to get your head round at first, but it does kind of work. Basically, how you do it is that you can be dropping in either and kind of making either, but if you drop a Tetromino on top of a Puyo, it will squash it, and then it will reappear from the top of the screen and reappear on the top of the Tetromino. Now,
I have a question.
Yes?
How do you pronounce domino?
Right, look, I am pronouncing it as they do throughout the game. If you have a problem, take it up with the game.
I was going, Tetromino?
That's how they pronounce it?
Tetromino. It's like dominoes, Tetromino.
No, it's not. That's not how they pronounce it. They made the word.
That doesn't mean they're right.
Take it up with them.
Who's they?
Illuminati.
I'm looking forward to buying a pizza from Domino's later on. What are you going to do for dinner, Coleman?
Puyo Puyo Johns for me.
If you drop a Tetromino on top of a Puyo, it squashes it. If you drop it on top of a garbage Tetromino or Puyo, it makes it disappear and it doesn't like drop back in from the top of the screen. So you do this weird thing where you're laying Puyos together and then dropping a Tetromino on top of it so that they then reappear on top, but then the shape of that Tetromino can change where they are in relation to each other, so it can set off a Puyo Puyo combo as well, basically.
This word picture is that you're painting, Tim, is like someone has eaten like 15 crayons and then just vomited all over a bit of canvas.
Well,
I have no idea what you're on about.
Well, okay, how experienced... Have you ever played Puyo Puyo? Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Okay, right. So you know that you're generally got to just get 4 sort of... and it was also called, anyone confused, it was also called Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine outside of Japan previously as well. So you might know as that. But anyway, you're generally joining
You can also buy Mean Bean machines in Ann Summers these days as well, but that's an entirely different product.
But you're generally trying to connect 4 or more of the same colour to make them disappear. And for anyone that hasn't played Tetris, and if there's a gamer that hasn't played Tetris, I don't know what you're doing, but you're trying to make a whole line from left to right disappear as well. And the one thing I found really confusing about was this trying to work out, like, it was easier to work out where the Puyos were when you were adding more Puyos to it, but it was sometimes difficult to work out exactly where one Tetromino stopped and the other ended, and where you had garbage things and where you had other bits and bobs. And yeah, that could get a little bit confusing. You could end up adding a Tetromino somewhere where you really didn't want it, basically, which is a bit more difficult. But yeah, the fusion mode, actually, I was quite surprised with how well it worked. And they've obviously kind of tweaked both Puyo Puyo and Tetris to work well together type thing.
So, I mean, is it just random that sometimes you'll get Tetris blocks, Tetrominos, if you will?
Tetrominos.
No, Tetrominos, or Puyo Puyos, or Puyonominos, if you will. Do they just randomly kind of, do you get a mixture of both, or can you force the other player to go from kind of Tetris to Puyo Puyo?
Well, no, in other modes, then you're swapping between one and the other. In the fusion mode, you're continuously doing both, but you get a little bit more of a warning about what's coming up. I think they tell you the next 5 blocks the next 5 things that are going to drop into your puzzle zone rather than the next 3 that you get in other modes type thing. So you do get a little bit ahead. And also, anyone that has played Tetris recently, you generally, in most modes I've seen in this, and all the modes I've seen in this as well for Tetris, you get to hold one block to the side, and in the fusion mode you can do that as well. You can hold one thing and then swap it back in whenever you like, basically, sort of thing. So you do get a little bit of control over what's coming. I just found it really hard to, it's already hard enough to look through 3 things and kind of plan ahead for those 3. When you're trying to plan ahead for 5 things and the thing you've got on hold, and you're trying to do the 2 different games, it can really mess with your melon, basically. So yeah, it can be quite difficult. Also, before I move on,
messes with your melon, man. Dear
Yes,
God, I miss
my melon, man.
I
with my
miss
melon, man.
1994.
Yes, and basically, yeah, there's also a quite extensive single-player mode as well. One thing I know, I think all of those modes are available in 2 to 4 player as well, which I found it a bit easier to play against one opponent than 3, because otherwise it's a bit random and it's a bit hard to tell when you're going to get hit by stuff, sort of thing. So a bit hit and miss, but it's nice at least that you've got the option there to play with 3 friends as well.
But only if you have a roof garden and a fully stocked cupboard full of red cups are you allowed to do that anyway. So,
but as I said, there's quite an extensive one-player game, which at first I thought was going to be really annoying. There's this group of girls, and I don't know if they've been introduced to the Puyo Puyo world before, but there was a group of, I think mainly girls that were kind of the Puyo Puyo sort of crowd. And then there was a group of kind of people that were on a spaceship, headed up by Captain T. And then there's L and J were 2 sisters, and yeah, there's all these other people on the thing. But they've kind of characterized the different people from Tetris, and then they've got some characters from Puyo Puyo. And at first it just seemed like they were going to be kind of the annoying end of anime type thing, but I have to say that I kind of grew to liking the humour that they were presenting. It was really silly and kind of a bit self-referential. It kind of knows that it's being a bit silly type thing, and really over the top, and really kind of anime drama kind of thing going on, for really dramatic type thing. But as I said, I grew to quite like it and quite like the flavour of the thing they're going with. The only thing I didn't like about the one player is it's very single directional. Like, you've got one level, you unlock the next level, you unlock the next level, and there seem to be some weird difficulty spikes, and if you couldn't get past that level, you can't do anything else type thing. So that seemed a little bit limited. And as I said, the odd difficulty spikes were just a bit weird. I don't know about you, I'm a much more experienced Tetris player than I am a Puyo Puyo player, and I actually found difficulty with more Tetris levels than I did with Puyo Puyo, which I found a bit weird. But yeah, as I said, it's a little bit of an odd package, and it's one that I think is so suitable for the Switch that I'm like, by the way, I rented this, by the way, so I played through it, and I was like, I'm going to send this back a bit before I'm ready to do so, because I kind of want to save it for if I do get a Switch and pick it up with the Switch, basically. And hopefully by that time, it won't be the overpriced price that it is now, basically.
Now, I'm going to move on, Timothy, because Coleman's getting so bored, I can see him preparing the post notes for the show in Google Docs. God, you red-handed, Coleman.
Shh. That's behind the scenes.
But you've been playing a game that you're very excited about, Injustice 2, and you've been playing it on Android. How does that work?
Yeah, so do you remember did you review Play Injustice, the first game, Gods Among Us?
Very briefly, not
the
very,
mobile
not
game
great
or
depth.
the console game?
Both.
I played the console
Go with
game.
both.
I didn't play the mobile game.
Well, there was a tie-in free-to-play mobile game that was one of those weird mobile beat-em-ups where rather than performing moves like when they tried to make the iPhone version of Street Fighter by doing the traditional moves through swiping and stuff, it's more like taps and swipes and things, more simplified for mobile phones. They've done the same this time, and it's actually really, really good. This came out last night. It's same as the previous mobile game, so it's 3-on-3 battles, unless you specifically go for 1-on-1 battles in other different modes. They're all the same characters that are available on the console version of the game on this one, though it isn't a full roster you've got, and you're unlocking them through purchases, through in-game currency, which you can also buy yourself, and they're very highly priced, but they're quite easy to unlock on their own anyway. This was quite interesting. So, last year you had, well, it's last year. It was quite a while ago. In the last game, in the last game you had like a normal single player campaign, you had like a challenge modes, and then you had an arena. This time you've got all those again. I don't think they put in the challenge modes yet. They're coming later. But they've actually added a story mode, which is not bad for a free game. So they've got the story of Injustice 2, what's going to be in the actual console version.
Okay. The story
that
last
you can
time was
play
really
on your
good,
mobile phone.
No?
Yeah, very good. I'm really looking forward to it. What they've done this time, so you're not just going to pick up a free mobile game and then go, right, I'm going to burn through the story, then I don't have to spend the £50 on a brand new game. They're kind of staggering the releases of each stage. So when I picked it up, this came out for full release. Actually, I don't know if it's a full release yet or if it was a beta I picked up, but because I pre-registered for this ages ago.
Okay.
So when this came out late last night, I got a notification, downloaded it, and it had like 4 different fights from the story already available, which all come with cutscenes and stuff. But that's like the full opening to the game and everything all ready to go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Really good voice cast on there as well. You've got, normal Batman is Kevin Conroy, you got Phil Lamar in there, you got Tara Strong playing Harley Quinn. All the, really, really good voice. Alan Tudyk's in there as, I think he plays Green Arrow this time around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was quite interesting. Green Arrow, actually.
Yeah, considering the last thing I saw him in was Moana, where he played a chicken. So it's, hey, why not? But yeah, the game for itself, like I said, it came out last night. Looking at some of the reviews and things on the App Store, it seems while it was in pre-release, it's had a couple of issues that have been patched out since, but general consensus is that everyone seems to like it, especially the story mode being added in is a real big bonus to a lot of people. I've played probably about 4 hours of the game so far. I'm really enjoying what I do so far. They're going to add in leagues as well at some point, so at one point we probably will have a BigRedBarel group on this, because when I was playing the last game, I don't know if they're going to do any kind of tie-in, because what they cleverly did with the last one was if you played Injustice on the mobile and on the console, by unlocking different things in the console, you were unlocking special things in the mobile game that you could only do, and vice versa.
That's quite
so there was one particular skin in Gods Among Us on the mobile on the console that you could only get if you unlocked Batman in the mobile game. And because I refused to pay any actual money because he was so expensive, one of the top end characters, I played that game for like a good solid year before I actually unlocked Batman. So I don't know if they're going to do anything like that this time, but if they do, that will probably sort of solidify it into me trying to unlock things on the console version. Because I get very into fighting games in unlocking all the hidden costumes and things.
Sweet.
But yes, it's a nice little introduction to the console game that's coming out on the 16th, I think. Yeah, 5 days from now.
Can I just say, I'm a little bit worried about both Injustice 2 and Tekken 7 just being two fighting games quite close to each other, and I can see them gobbling up a bit of each other's sales, basically, when I don't think they would normally do that if they were spread out a little bit more, no?
Well, thank God it's not the Marvel Universe, because I would have made a terrible joke like, don't you mean Green Goblin him up?
Oh. God, thank God you didn't make that joke, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
Goblin.
Carry on.
Goblin's a funny word. Yeah, but anyway, I'm really enjoying the mobile game. As I say, free to play. I don't know if it is out. I pre-registered. I just got a notification and picked it up. If it is available now, it's free. Give it a try, and then that'll. Yeah, it's like I say, good introduction to whether you're going to be interested in the actual full console game itself, especially as the whole game's opening is on the mobile game that doesn't cost you anything. So that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet as. Well, I think that's a thing, isn't it?
Oh, that'll be a thing.
Yes, I think that's everything.
But not before we do some housekeeping. Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays.
Tuesday is a Tuesday.
Smack me up with that knowledge, sir.
Yeah, last week's event went really well, really nice. And well, before I forget to mention it as well, we had forum member Stealthy Joe join us for this week's thing as well. Yes, he was looking for you, Coleman. He was hoping you were going to be there so he could beat you up for your salad fingers.
He's going to beat me up?
Yeah.
What? Why? That seems a bit unnecessary.
Quite riled up.
A bit harsh.
Obviously, jokingly, he's a very nice man. But yeah, he didn't like the fact that he specifically said on the forums not to do salad fingers. And what did you do?
Salad fingers.
No. He said not to do the voice I did because it sounded a bit like salad fingers.
He did say don't do a salad fingers impersonation.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, now he has definitely said that too. So don't do it.
But now it's not salad fingers anymore. It's Creepy Coleman.
I don't think we can stop Creepy Coleman. Sorry, Stealthy Joe. I tried.
Many have tried. All have failed.
Yeah, but for anyone that doesn't know, if you join us on a Tuesday for our Tabletop Tuesdays in Loading Bar in Dalston, you can win yourself a copy of a game just by coming along and trying it out on the evening. This week's game is a little bit more up in the air than I'd like, but should be a game called
Pictionary.
No.
What?
Kaplunk.
Hello, listen when I'm saying things. The game,
Charades. Okay, two words.
Week
First word
is a game called Gobbit, hopefully.
What?
Maybe.
Gobbit. Oh, I've heard of Gobbit.
Yeah, a bit like Dobble for anyone that doesn't know, basically, on those kind of lines.
Haven't I played Gobbit?
You possibly have. Oh, did you play it with me at the London Toy Fair? Yeah, yep.
Okay, now I remember Gobbit. That's a good game.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll go down well. Dobble's one of those ones that some people look down their nose at, but it seems to do quite well in the bar because it's quite a good game for when you're drunk, basically, which is often the way with kids' games, and I expect this to be the same. But if you come along and join us, it's a great place to get introduced to a load of new games and a load of people that like playing them, and you can come along and possibly win yourself a copy just by coming along and trying it out on the evening.
Well, that sounds bloody splendid.
Yes!
Seriously, though, Gobbit is a really good game. Is it the regular version or the Angry Birds version?
Right, that's the thing that's slightly up in the air. I have both.
Right.
But I only have one copy of both currently, and the other copies are apparently on their way to me, but that is somewhat unconfirmed at the moment. So I might be doing a little bit of a mix-up, and then doing that again in a few weeks, possibly.
Oh, they're both really
But yeah,
good.
there's Gobbit and there's Angry Birds Gobbit, basically. And yep, we will have one or both of those coming along on Tuesday, basically.
So, ladies and gents, that's your lot. Now we've reminded you that Tuesday is a Tuesday, and you can enjoy Tuesday on our tabletop in the format of Tabletop Tuesdays. Yes, you can. But there's some little bits and bobs we would like to do before we go. First of all, we're going to say thank you to a couple of people who were kind enough to swing on by the forums and the Twitty Twats to say thank you and hello. So from the forums, I would like to say thank you to Stingo, Stealthy Joe, Richard Kirk, and Bushin the Cat.
And from Twitter, I would like to thank Mr. Will Driver, who said, I believe he said very nice things about us this week. Us and
Will
Geek Speak
Driver.
in general. He's a very nice chap, but he was saying very nice things, so that's even nicer.
He's lovely.
But yeah, also Robs0211, The Unflushable, Sad Wizard, and Spencer H.
Oh, but you've given Coleman no names to read
I
out.
only realised that as I was halfway through Sad Wizard. So...
I will thank no one on Facebook and no one on iTunes because we got nothing on
Yes, you
Facebook and nothing on
will.
iTunes. So, therefore, if you give us iTunes reviews and comments on Facebook, then I can read those
There
out.
you
Or
go.
even YouTube. We have the YouTube thing going as well.
Tell you what, Coleman. To make you feel a bit better about it, I don't have anything to say. How do you feel about just reading out, a seemingly arbitrary list of letters and numbers that might turn into something? How's that sound?
Would this be an arbitrary list of letters and numbers that, if we're redeemed into the PlayStation Store, may give them a little bit of a surprise?
Yes, and may actually tie in to what we talked about earlier about Hitman. Might do that, mightn't it?
Ooh. Could I do it phonetically?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. I've always wanted to do this.
I do actually know the phonetic alphabet, so I will point out any mistakes.
Papa 4,
Yes,
Bravo Delta,
correct.
4 Alpha,
Yep,
November Papa,
yep,
6 Delta,
yep.
Hotel 6.
Oh,
Well done, Coleman.
Ooh, look at
I worked
you.
in a call centre for like 5 years.
It shows.
Foxtrot Alpha, mate. Well done.
We should actually say that's for the Hitman intro pack.
Yes,
so
not the whole
chapter
thing.
1.
You
Hitman
have to
intro
pick
pack.
that up. Worth picking up.
Yes, so early bird and all that. So, yeah, enjoy.
Can
anyway.
I ask you chaps one question before we go as well?
All
Be
right.
quick.
Right, when a mummy and a daddy love each other
No,
really...
it's
Okay,
not,
right.
It's not like that. Have you seen the Wipeout Omega Collection box art?
It's the one that looks a bit PlayStation
Yes.
1-esque.
Now, I
Yeah.
wouldn't normally do that, but how good does that look?
Really good?
Put it in the chat. I don't know. Have you seen it? Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the look of that. I think
I mean,
that looks
it looks
awesome.
good, but doesn't it once again cement that they're going, hey, look at this really cool game, look at the glory days of it. Oh yeah, we shut that studio down, by the
Yeah,
way.
it does make me a bit sad and does make me less willing to buy it, but I also now want to pick up a physical copy with that box because it looks awesome.
Like, to me, that's like, that would be like Sony going, look at our new line of t-shirts, and they're all like Psygnosis logos on them. But none of the money goes to Psygnosis.
Well, yeah. It pains me that there's not a VR version of Wipeout because that game was
Because that would
pretty
make
much
you vomit
built
all
for
over the
VR.
planet.
Oh, it would be so good.
No,
Anyway,
you would
at
vomit
least Radial G is on the
uncontrollably.
way soon. That'll scratch that itch. Yeah.
That is the VR version of Wipeout, Radial G.
So anyway, before Tim starts saying more things, we're going to go. So thank you ever so much for listening, and I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim. Maybe.
I've been Coleman.
Yeah, you have. Well done, you, Coleman.
Yay.
Yay, another successful
Yay.
week being Coleman under your belt.
Another week down.
Another week down.
Bosh.
May,
That was
may the
happiness
slow
or
and
smugness,
inexorable
maybe.
march into oblivion continue. Anyway, on that cheery note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go. So thank you ever so much for listening. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarel.com.
Why, Why, hi there, Coleman. It's your old pal, the mouses with the mostest. It's me, Mickey Mouse. What a surprise for you this must be. Now, I know you record on Thursdays, which means that for you, right now, it's Star Wars Day, so, allow me to be the first to say, may all your money be with me. I mean, may the Force be with you. If by the Force you mean, your money, and by with you you mean, with me, Mickey Mouse. So, have a good day, fire up a lightsaber, and, remember, I own your childhood now, so you can't get me. Oh, sorry, Minnie's calling me from the other room. You see, I made her dress up as Leia today, which, isn't gross now that Carrie Fisher is dead, because, shut up, that's why! I'm out. So good night, Mickey Maniacs and jabroni marks without a life that don't know it'll work when you work and work yourself into a chute, you marks.